So good morning all. So let us start the session. So last class, we discussed about output formatting. In that we discuss how to format the output as per the user requirement. Okay. In today class, we are going to discuss about flow control in Python program. So coming to today agenda, control flow in Python. Control flow in Python. So what is flow control? So normally up to now we see many programs. In all the programs we execute all the instructions. If you observe or not, if I write 10 instructions in a program, 10 instructions in a program, if I execute all these instructions one by one, this is the first instruction. After that I execute second instruction, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, 7, 8, 9, 10. If we execute all the instructions one by one, then that execution we are called as a sequential execution. That execution we are called as a sequential execution. We call that as a sequential execution. But coming to real-time applications, in real time we are going to write the programs, but in that programs we are going to execute only some of the instructions. Some of the instructions we cannot execute all the instructions. If you observe that, if you go to ATM, now this displays some options. So withdraw, deposit, mini statement, a phone number change, like that. All these are the options. Now in these options you are going to select one of the option. That means here the execution forwarded to this withdrawal option. Okay, if you select deposit option, then the control moves to this deposit option. Okay, that means when you write Python programs or any other real-time programs, we cannot execute all the instructions. We cannot execute all the instructions. That means it is necessary to control the flow of the program. It is necessary to control flow of a program. Okay, we see in our previous class we discussed one example. So this is the example. In this, if you observe that, this is the first instruction. We execute the first instruction. After that, second instruction. So third instruction, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. That means in this program we execute all 7 instructions. So this we are called as a sequential programming. So sequential programming, that means the Python interpreter can execute the instructions one by one, and the execution is starting from first instruction, after this second, third, and so on. But coming to this sequential execution is not suitable for developing critical programs where we are going to write some complex logic. Complex logic is nothing but, this is the ATM, these are the different options we are going to display. But when you select this withdraw option, then you are going to send the control to this withdraw function. Okay, now we see in today class we are going to see the control flow in Python. In this we are going to discuss about if else, nested if with example programs. Okay, so coming to the definition of flow control. So flow control of a Python program is regulated by conditional statements, loops, and transfer statements and function calls. So first one, conditional statements. What is the conditional statements? So conditional statements is nothing but you are going to give some condition. If this condition is true, you are going to execute some instructions. or you are going to execute some other instructions. What it means? It's a condition based execution. Here you are going to specify one condition. The condition is true, you are going to execute some group of statements, otherwise you are going to execute another statements. Okay, in Python we have three conditional statements. One is if else, nested if statements. Okay, similarly loop. So what is a loop? So loop is nothing but executing same instruction. For example, here I am writing print hi. I print this hi 100 times. Then I don't write print 100 times like this. I write print statement and I execute this instruction 100 times. Here I am going to give the condition 100. Okay, we discuss in detail in next class. So loops. We have two types of statements in Python for loops. One is for loop, another one is while loop. Similarly, transfer statement. So transfer, what we transfer here? We transfer the control from one place to another place. For that we are going to use two Python statements. One is break, another one is continue. Okay, and similarly function calls. By using these function calls also, you are going to control the flow of the program. How? So for example, so this is the main program. So this is the main program. In this program, you are going to write some instructions. Okay, in this there is a function add. In the same program, there is a function add. If in this line you write like this add, that means this is the function call. Now the main function call this add, so the control moves to add function. Okay, here after completion of add function, again the control moves to called function. Okay, so this is the how we can control the flow in Python. So flow control of Python programs is regulated by conditional statements, loops, transfer statements, and function calls. So conditional statements are nothing but if else, nested if statements. So loop statements are for, while, and transfer statements are break and continue. Okay, now we see conditional statements. If statement. What is the if? For example, just wait. So for example, so when you attend Python class every day, you all are attend Python class at 2 p.m. 2 p.m. from Monday to Friday. Monday to Friday. That means, so here the first condition is the day, maybe Monday to Friday. This is the first condition. The second condition is the time is 2 p.m. If these two conditions are the true, then you are going to attend for the Python class. You are going to attend for the Python class. That is the if statement here. If, so for example today, if the time is 2 p.m., you are going to attend the Python class. So these statements, this if statement is used to execute one or more statements depending on whether a condition is true or not. So true or not. For example, I write a program like this. One, this is the first instruction I write. Second, third. In third instruction, I write if. Here I am writing some condition, and I write some statements regarding this if statement. And fourth one is one statement. For example, this is the print hi. So this is by. Now the execution is starting from first instruction. It prints hi and execute second instruction. Here you check this condition. If this condition is true, then only you enter into this block. Otherwise, the control moves to by. If this condition is false, then the control goes to fourth instruction. If the condition is true, then you enter into this block and execute these statements, then you move to next instruction by. Okay, this is the simple if. We call this as a simple if. Here the syntax is you are going to use say if keyword and condition, after that you write the statements here. Okay, so for example we write one program. For example, you all are attending Python class. So I'm taking one variable time. If time equals to, if we enter 2 p.m. If we enter 2 p.m. then you are going to display a message Python class, attend for Python class. Just wait. Attend for Python class. You want to display like this. You are going to enter input 2 p.m. If then you are going to print attend for Python class. How? So first you are going to read the input from keyboard. So you are going to write time is a variable equals to input. Here you are going to write if you can use brackets or you give directly also. If time equals to in single quotation I am giving 2 p.m. So then print attend for Python class. Okay, here I am print so by statements for better understanding. So by, and after input it displays a message, so print hi. Okay, now we execute this program. So what is the expected output? It prints the cursor is waiting here. If I enter 2 p.m. So what it displays now? For better understanding, here I am enter time. Enter 2 p.m. Hi, attend for Python class. So for example, if I enter other than 2 p.m. So for example, 3 p.m. Now it displays only hi and bye. So what happened here? Here the execution is starting from first line. So it displays a message enter time, and this is the input function. So the cursor is waiting, you enter 2 p.m. as an input. Now this 2 p.m. is stored in a variable time. So next, so print hi. Hi message is displayed on monitor. Now here you write one if statement. If time, what is the time here? In the time we store 2 p.m. 2 p.m. equals to 2 p.m. What is equals to? Equals to is a conditional operator. Already discussed about the comparison operators. The equals to. It returns if the two quantities are the same, then it returns true. In this case, 2 p.m. equals to 2 p.m. So we enter into the loop. Why? It is true. So time equals to 2 p.m. Yes, it is true. So enter into the block and attend for Python class. So here we print the message attend for Python class. So after this instruction, there is another instruction to execute. So it prints by. Okay. In second case, 3 p.m. is stored in time. In second case, 3 p.m. is stored. The next instruction is hi. It is displayed. So after that, we check 3 p.m. 3 p.m. equals to 2 p.m. Is it true or false? It is false. It is false. So the control moved to this statement print by. Okay, I hope you all are understand simple if. Okay, and let us try to understand another important point, that is indentation. Indentation. So this is, if you observe that, shall we write a special character colon. So this is the indentation. So for example, in C, so how we can maintain the indentation? By using brackets. For example, we write program like this: main open bracket and closing bracket. And in this, if I use any if statement, I write like this: if I write like this. If I write another if, so in this way, we are going to maintain the indentation in C or C++ or Java. So open bracket, close bracket. Okay, in Python, how we can maintain this indentation means by using this colon symbol. By using this colon symbol. If you observe that, if I give 2 p.m. and press enter, now the cursor is here, starting of the line. Now if I press anything, then it is printed from first line. Now observe that if I give colon here, colon, if I press enter, now the cursor is at one tab space. The cursor at one tab space. If I give if time equals to 3 p.m. and I give indentation here. If I press enter, now this is the tab. Now if I print hi, okay, if you observe that the cursor moves to next instruction, this is the indentation. If I press backspace, then it goes to previous indentation. Okay, it is similar to brackets only. Main open bracket, closing bracket. Similarly, if open bracket, closing bracket. If you are the writing the programs, then we got the indentation error sometimes. So because of these spaces. So for example, here I'm going to write like this: print. If I write hi, okay. After that, I give one space. I write print by. Now if I press F5, now you observe that unexpected indent. Here I am giving the space. So that is the indentation error. If I remove this space, if I execute, now it is displayed hi and bye. Okay, indentation is very important in Python programming. When you write the complex programs, you are going to write many complex logics. So in that case, you are going to follow the indentations. Okay. If I write like this, so previous program, same program. The same program. If I miss indentation here, for example, here I give backspace. If I try to execute this, see unexpected and indented block. Why? Here we are specifying that. So this is the if block. So compulsory you are going to give the indentation. Tab space, tab. Okay. Otherwise, if it is difficult to maintain the indentation, then you can give the backspace. The instruction moves to previous line and then press enter. Then automatically the new instruction takes the indentation. Okay. If we execute this program, so 2 p.m. Now it is executed. Why? There is no indentation. Okay. So next we are going to see another program here. So for example, if I enter 1, so for example, here I am going to write a program, a Python program to express a digit in a word, a digit in a word. For example, if I enter 1, then it displays 1. If I press 2, then it displays 2. We see about this after some time. First we are going to see, if I enter 1, it displays 1. Okay, so how we are going to write this program? So first you are going to take a variable n equals to int of input. I hope you all know why we are writing int here. Whatever you are going to read from the keyboard, that is in the form of string, so you can convert the string into integer. So then only you are going to apply the comparison operator. If here n equals to 1, then you are going to print 1 as output. Okay, if you execute the program, okay, the cursor is waiting and 1, so it displays 1. Execute one more time. If I give 2, it does not display anything. Why? Here we are writing only one if. Okay, so similarly, if else, what is if else? So what is a simple if? In simple if, you are going to specify only one condition. In this condition, you are specifying that what are the actions you are going to perform if the condition is true. If the condition is true, you are going to perform some actions. Here, if the condition n equals to 1, then you are going to print 1. If it is not 1, for that we don't write any actions. Okay, so for that we are going to use if else statement. If else statement. The if else statement executes a group of statements when a condition is true. Otherwise, it will execute another group of statements. What it means? In previous case, we are using only if condition and statements 1. Okay, now if the condition is true, we enter into this block and execute the statements 1. If the condition is false, then we enter into this else block. Okay, if else statement executes a group of statements when a condition is true. Otherwise, it will execute another group of statements here. The another group we write in this else block. Okay, so now we are going to write example programs. Okay, here we are writing a program, a Python program. So same program. So what we discuss. Okay, if the time equals to 2 p.m., then it displays attend for Python class. So otherwise, else you are going to use indentation. Okay, else print wait up to 2 p.m. Wait up to 2 p.m. That's it. Now, if you execute this program, say enter time. If I enter 2 p.m., hi, attend for Python class. We execute one more time. If I enter 1 p.m., it displays hi, wait up to 2 p.m. Here you can write for Python class. If I give 3 p.m., so wait up to 2 p.m. for Python class. Okay, if you observe that here the condition is true, then you are going to print attend for Python class. So this is the statements 1. You can write group of statements also. So for example, here I write another instruction, print welcome. Here I write another print please. Okay, So enter time, if I enter 2 p.m. now it displays hi, welcome, attend for Python class. If I so enter time, if I enter 1 p.m. then it displays hi, so please wait up to 2 p.m. for Python class. That means if the condition is true, you are going to execute these set of instructions, these statements. Else you are going to execute these statements. Okay, so what it means, if this condition is true, you are going to execute true block. If this condition is false, then you are going to execute this else block. Okay, so now we are going to write some more programs. A Python program to test whether number is even or odd. Even or odd. So first we know how we find a number is even or odd. You all are think. So for example, I enter a number 14. So 14 is even or odd? It prints even. If I enter 16, it is even. If it is 18, it is even. If it is 3, it is odd. If it is 7, it is odd. How we interpreting that? So these numbers are even and these numbers are odd. So how? What is the logic for that? The logic for that is I am taking the number, for example, that is a 7, and I find a divisible. I divided this number with 2. I divide this number with 2. If I get remainder 1, then it is odd number. Or if I get remainder 0, then it is even number. Okay, if I get remainder 0, then it is even number. If I get the remainder 1, then it is odd. That means there are only two types of numbers. One is even, another one is odd number. So in this case, the if else is enough. If else is enough. What is the first instruction? You are going to read one number. So for example, 10. Now what it prints? It prints 10 is even number. If I enter 7, now it displays 7 is even number. Okay, it displays like this. Now you see the program. What is the first instruction? You are going to read the number from the keyboard. So you write n equals to int of input. So after that, you are going to check if x percentage 2 equals to 0. Okay, equals to 0. Then print. What do you want to print? 10 or 7. That means x double quotation. I write is even number. I write like this. Else you're going to write. Here I missed indentation. Else print. So x comma is odd number. That's it. Okay, we try to execute this program. Now I enter 10. Just wait. Sorry, here I write n x. Okay, I give the input 10. So 10 is even number. If I press 7, 7 is odd number. If I enter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is an even number. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It is an odd number. Okay, in this way you are going to find whether the given number is even or odd. Here the logic is for to find even or odd, you are going to find x percentage 2. So what is a percentage symbol? When I discuss about these arithmetic operators, I told you that this percentage symbol we are going to use in many programs to find the even or number. How we can find a number is even? That number is divided by 2, and if you get the remainder 0, then the number is even number. Otherwise the number is odd number. Okay. Now we see another program. A Python program to test whether a given number is in between 1 and 10. Now everyone try to think logic. A Python program to test whether a given number is in between 1 and 10. So for example, I am asking that, so 6 it is in between 1 and 10, then you say yes. If I give 12, now you say no. How you are going to interpret this logic? A Python program to test whether a given number is in between 1 and 10. Okay, so how? So for example, we are going to write the program. So first you are going to read the value here, n equals to int of input. Okay, in this input I am going to write a message, enter a number. Okay, now here I am writing that if the number is stored in the n greater than or equals to 1 and n less than or equals to 10, then you are going to print yes. Here I am writing that print you typed x, just wait. So which is between 1 and 10. Okay, if the condition is false, you are going to print a message. You type x which is below 1 or above 10. Okay, so is it correct or not? For example, I enter 6. Now the 6 is stored in n equals to 6. Next instruction, 6 greater than or equals to 1, 6 less than or equals to 10, and here I am using AND operation, AND logical operator. What is the purpose of the AND logical operator? This expression used to combine two expressions. 6 greater than 1, it is true, and n less than, that means 6 less than or equals to 10, this is also true. So true and true, so the entire expression will be true, and enter into this block and prints you types 6, you type 6 which is between 1 and 10. In another case, you enter 12. Now in this case, n equals to 12. 12 greater than or equals to 1, true, and 12 less than or equals to 10. False. So true and false, false. So we enter into this else block and print you types 12 which is below 1 or above 10. Okay. So type so below 1 or above 10. Okay, we execute this program. If I enter 6, enter a number 6, you typed 6 which is between 1 and 10. We execute one more time. If I give 12, you type 12 which is below 1 or above 10. Okay, we execute one more time. If I give 10, you type 10 which is between 1 and 10. Okay, I hope you all are understand if else structure. So if else structure means if the condition is true, you are going to execute some group of statements. If the condition is false, you are going to execute the statements in the else block. Else block. Okay, so now we are going to see another statement, that is if else if. Here, if we have to test multiple conditions and execute statements depending on those conditions, then if else statements is useful. So what it means, if you have more than one condition, so for example, we are going to read a number and you are going to print that it is a positive or negative number. Okay, so how we write the program for that? So what is the input? Input is, for example, I am giving a number. For example, number is -5. Then it prints that the -5 is negative. So -5 is negative. If I give 10, now it prints 10 is positive. 10 is positive. How we write that? Same instruction, n equals to int of input, enter a number. If here I am writing that n greater than 0, n greater than 0, you are going to print n comma is positive, else print n comma is negative. Okay, we execute this program. Enter a number, enter -5. So -5 is negative. I execute one more time. If I enter 1 2 3 3, 1 2 3 4 3 is positive. Okay, good. If I enter 0, now it displays that 0 is a negative number. 0 is not a negative number. In this case, we have multiple conditions. In this case, you are going to check multiple conditions. So we are going to use if else. Okay, here we are going to change like this. If num equals to 0, you are going to print that print num comma is 0 is 0. Okay, whatever you are going to enter that equals to 0, then you are going to print that so 0. Else if else if, here you are going to write the condition m greater than 0. M greater than 0. If you observe, this is the one block, this is the if block. So this is the else if block. So this is the else block. Okay, now we execute the same program. Enter a number, enter 0. So enter 0 here. Displays 0 is 0. 0, it displays 0 is 0. We execute one more time. If I give 6, it displays 6 is positive. If I give -6, it displays, so -6 is negative. If I give 0, then it displays 0 is 0. Okay. So now we are going to see another program. A Python program to accept a numeric digit from keyboard and display in words. So what it means, for example, I enter 3, then it displays 3. If I enter 7, then it displays 7 as output. If I enter 9, it displays 9 as output. If I enter 0, then it displays 0 as a message. Okay. So how we write the program? Very simple. The same program. If it is n equals to 0, you are going to print 0 as output. Okay, here we have multiple options, so we are going to write else if n equals to 1, you are going to write 1 here. In else if, there is no need of writing else. No, 242 asking that if else if. No, you don't follow that order. If, and you can write in this nested if, you are going to write another if. In this else, you are going to write another if. So before the else, you are going to write the if. Okay, so n equals to 2, then you are going to print 2 as output. If n equals to 3, you are going to print 3 as output. If n equals to 4, if n equals to 5, if n equals to 6, you print 6 as output. If n equals to 7, you're going to write 7 as output. So 248, wait 1 minute. I come back to you. If n equals to 8, if n equals to 9, you are going to print 9. Okay, we execute this program. Enter a number, I enter 9. It displays 9 as output. If I enter 5, displays so 5 as output. If I enter 1, it displays 1 as output. Okay, so what happened here? Here you are going to read the n value. If the n equals to 1, here 1 equals to 0, false. So we enter into this next block. 1 equals to 1, it is true. So you are going to execute this 1 and displays the 1 as output. If n equals to 9, the first if is false, second if is false, third if false, That means we check all these conditions. Okay, if I enter n equals to 11, then all these conditions are false. All these conditions are false. Okay, so this is about if else statement. So thank you all. We meet in tomorrow class. So thank you.